Release the Kraken!
Good evening, fellow game designers. This is Ron here with Lame Duck Studios, and I'm bringing you another entry-level tutorial for the beginner. Last tutorial we went ahead and created the reference image for our very simple spaceship, and now we're going to bring it into Maya. So I'm loading up Maya 2018. If you have 2016 or 2015, they're all pretty much the same. There's some different changes, very minor changes to the interface. Like in 2018, we have these here. Polygons is called polymodeling. They use the new Arnold system for rendering. So here's Arnold. You won't have that in 2016. But most of the stuff's kind of the same. So I'll be under polymodeling. And we just need a plane, so I'll drop in the plane. If you want your canvas, by the way, if you want your canvas to be like mine, go up to Display, and then Grid, hit the Options box. And this is my setup for here. Okay, 512, 512, 32. In my class, I have 512, 96, 32. So I'll just hit Apply here, and it'll look like that. So if you're in my class, it'll look like that. It doesn't really matter. It's just whichever one. I find on the video, it comes up nicer if this is 512, 512. And you can see it's a cleaner grid. So either way, whichever one that you like. I'm going to go ahead and select that, press F to frame up, and I want this to be the right size for my ship. So I'm going to come over to the right, make sure we have our channel box open. If you don't see channel box, check the tabs on the side here, make sure you're in it, or come up to the top here and we have the three little pages here. This is the channel box. Okay. One addition you will see in 2018 is instead of having 4 tool tabs, we have 5. We now have a character tool tab. We're not really going to be dealing with this in this tutorial, but kind of cool to know that it's there. Alright, so come down to polyplane. That's under inputs, and we want our width and our height. So we did 512 for our width, but I'm going to cut that down to just 51. So I'll do 51 for the width. And then for the height, I'm going to do 64. So this is going to give us something big enough to work with in Unreal. Down here for the width and the height subdivisions, I'm going to remove the extra subdivisions. I'm going to select them both and just choose 1 and 1. So we have just a single subdivision here. Now it's time to add our color. So go up to Rendering, come down to Lambert, that's this one in the middle. Go ahead and click that. If your materials don't pop open, but you get the attributes like I did, it's all the way to the end. You'll see Lambert 2. If you don't see that, you can right-click on your object. You got to hold it. Come down to Material Attributes. It'll also take you there. Okay. For the name of this is going to be Image Plane. Image Plane. For color, I'm going to hit the checker box, and then I'm going to navigate to File, and then to Folder, so where it says Image Name. And I'm going to navigate to the folder that I have this in. So this is going to be in my Game Design Tutorial folder, so I got to find it in here. Alright, and there it is. Here's my spaceship. I'll hit Open. And then to get the color to pop up, press 6 on the keyboard. And there you go. So now your image plane is being displayed. But it isn't being displayed the way that we'd like. You can see it's only cut, it's kind of cut in half and it's skewed. So select your plane here, come up to UV, go to UV Editor. Now my UV Editor is going to look a little bit different than the one in 2016, but it's okay. You can see it's this giant grid thing now, but it's alright. Just make sure we're working in this panel. It's the only one that says 0 to 1, so this is a 0, and then 1, and then 0 to 1. So this is where we're going to be at. And all I want to do is move my UVs, this UV edge, to the center of this panel. So I'm going to right click, go to UVs, and then I'm going to drag a selection box over the right of my image. And it's going to give me these little dots here. So those are my UVs. I'll press the W key to bring up the move tool, and then hold down the X key. So when I hold down X, it's going to let me drag and snap And you can see that this is lining up on the picture over there. So there's my picture lined up. Look at that. I'm going to go to object mode, so I'm going to right click, go to object mode. You can also get there by pressing F8. So in object mode, let's make sure I'm there. I'm going to go ahead and then do Control and then the D key. So Control D to duplicate. I'll drag this new one off. And all I want to do is move my UVs to the other side. So right click, go to UVs. You can also get there by pressing F12. I'm going to select this side, hold down the X key, and I'll drag that to the edge, right here. And then I'll grab these ones, hold down the X key, and drag them to the center. There's my center line right there. There it is. Okay. Go back to object mode. I'm down in my UV panel, so I'll close that. I'll close that as well. And now I want to set these up so they're easy to work from. This is fine. I'm just going to move this image plane down some. Using the arrow, move it down. That way it's not directly in the center. And then for this one, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. So I'm going to go up to my channel box, and I'm going to rotate in the Z 90. But there's a problem. You can see if I look at this from this side, which is my side view, I get this black panel. And the reason for that is there's only one side to this image plane. So what I can do is flip it. So if I select this, then I go up to Mesh Display. Make sure we're in Modeling over here. So if you don't see this option, just make sure we're in Modeling. And then go to Mesh Display and come down to Reverse. And that will flip our plane. So I'm going to select them both. And now I want to make it so I can't accidentally move them. So I'm going to come down to Layers, Create Layer from Selected. Make sure they're both selected. Create. And then I'm going to set this empty box here to R. So click it, click it. So R just means reference, and now I can't move them. At this point, we're good. We can save it, and then I will pick it up in the next video.